Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. Now, the school session after the current mid-year break will continue with home-based teaching and learning, or PD-PDR, for 25 days. The new session is from 13th of June to 15 July for Group A schools in Johor, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. And from the 14th of June to 16th of July for Group B schools in Perlis, Penang, Perak, Selangor Negeri Sembilan, Melaka, Pahang, Sabah Sarawak, Kuala Lumpur, Labuan and Putrajaya. Senior Education Minister Datuk Dr. Razin Jidin said all private international and expatriate schools registered with the Education Ministry should also implement PD-PDR throughout this period according to their own calendars. In a virtual media conference today, he said the arrangement for the school session after this period would also be announced 1 week before the end of the midterm holidays. He added the Education Ministry was aware of complaints that the PD-PDR 2.0 manual required students to follow many subjects, but it should be noted that the manual was only a guide for teachers to achieve the optimum situation to teach their students.
Setiap guru mengetahui tentang kemampuan dan juga kebolehan anak didik mereka. Guru lebih mengetahui dan ini akan membolehkan guru-guru menyusun perancangan supaya kandungan-kandungan khususnya kandungan asas itu dapat dikuasai oleh murid-murid mengikut pendekatan yang terbaik.
On the Ministry's DDEC TV, Datuk Dr. Razzi said it would continue with 15 hours of transmission daily based on the syllabus of the subject concerned, while the slot for Education TV would proceed on RTM's TV OK for 2 hours and Astro Tutor TV for 4 hours every day. Meanwhile, the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM 2021 examination will be held next year, with the oral and practical science tests for the exam would be held in February, while the written examination in March. Datuk Dr. Razzi said the Ministry of Education, MOE, made the decision after taking into account the current situation and challenges that SPM 2021 candidates have to go through.
Pengalaman kita dalam menguruskan SPM 2020 membolehkan kita menganjakkan tempoh ataupun tarikh pelaksanaan SPM 2021 ke tahun 2022 dan dalam konteks ini pada bulan Mac, dan kita yakin segala proses berkaitan dengan SPM 2021 ini akan dapat berjalan dengan lancar seperti mana kita telah berjaya melaksanakan SPM 2020.
When asked if examination classes would be given priority to resume face-to-face learning, he said examination class students will be the first to return to the classes if the ministry decides to open the school, but the dates will be announced later. Meanwhile, on appeals for enrolment in specialised schools, Datuk Dr. Razzi said the results on the appeals to enter fully residential schools, or SBP, religious national secondary schools, SNKA, vocational colleges, KV, technical secondary schools, SMT, and special vocational education secondary schools, SMPKV, would be announced on the 8th of June. Online registration for successful students will be on 13th of June for Group A schools and 14th of June for Group B schools. On the Cerdik initiative conducted by Yayasan Hasana, Datuk Dr. Razzi said a total of 12,887 tablets and laptops have been distributed to 95 schools through 51 state education offices nationwide.
40,290 unit. Agahan ini dijangka akan selesai selewat-lewatnya pada 12 Jun 2021. Kita dalam proses untuk mengagihkan lebih 40,000 unit ini selewat-lewatnya pada 12 Jun. Dan apa yang berlaku kepada bakinya, insya-Allah agihan ini akan selesai untuk baki lebih 96,000 unit pada akhir bulan September 2021.
The initiative announced in Budget 2021 aims to provide digital access consisting of laptops, tablets, and data connectivity to 150,000 students from low-income families. Datuk Dr. Rasmi also said that more than 70,000 teachers have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. He added that the Education Ministry would strive to increase the number as the school session would continue with the PDPDR until July.
Saya telah berbincang dengan Menteri Penyelaras Program Imunisasi COVID Kebangsaan, Saudara Khairi Jamaluddin. Kita akan usahakan supaya dalam tempoh ini kita dapat tingkatkan imunisasi untuk guru-guru di bawah KPM.
Khairi was previously reported to have said that a total of 500,000 teachers have been listed as vaccine recipients under Phase 2 of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, which began on the 19th of April. Meanwhile, Datuk Dr. Rasmi said the ministry had also discussed the methods and approaches that could be applied to prevent schools from becoming a COVID-19 cluster. The United Kingdom or UK's success in recording lower death cases from COVID-19 recently has given the Malaysian government confidence in the effectiveness of the national COVID-19 immunisation program. Now, Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said the UK's success has spurred the Malaysian government to continue and enhance its vaccination efforts towards providing protection and immunity to people against the virus.
Data yang kita perolehi menunjukkan UK dengan program vaksinasi telah mencatatkan zero death satu hari itulah. Ini memberi kita semangat sebenarnya untuk memastikan bahawa vaksin yang diberikan ini betul-betul menolong, meningkatkan imuniti, memberi perlindungan. Yang penting dia dapat cover seramai mana yang boleh, supaya kita semua sama-sama melindungi dan kes-kes COVID-19 tidak mencapai tahap serius lah.
Datuk Sri Dr. Adham was met after viewing the preparations for the operation of the Mega Vaccine Administering Centre (PPV) at the Persada International Convention Centre, Johor Bahru. Through Phase 1 of the vaccination exercise, about 500,000 frontliners have been vaccinated, while 9.3 million more individuals would receive the vaccine in Phase 2, followed by over 13 million in Phase 3. The Health Minister also reminded those who failed to turn up for their vaccination appointments to reschedule it through the My Sejahtera application. Now, 1 million senior citizens nationwide have received the first dose of the vaccine under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Program. Women, Family and Community Development Minister Datuk Sri Rina Mohamad Harun said of the total, 229,462 individuals have completed 2 doses of vaccination, while the rest received the first dose since the second phase of the vaccination exercise, which prioritizes the senior citizens, commenced in April.
Alhamdulillah, setakat ini hampir 60% warga emas yang telah pun mendaftar untuk mendapatkan vaksin. Kita ada 3.5 juta orang warga emas dan saya dimaklumkan sudah ada 2.1 juta warga emas yang telah pun mendaftar sebagai untuk penerima vaksin. Dan proses ini berjalan dari masa ke semasa dan kita lihat dah ada peningkatan.
Datuk Sri Rina was met after visiting the Social Welfare Department or JKM institution for the National COVID-19 Immunisation Program at Rumah Sejahtera Senior Care Centre in Sikamat. On the suitability of the type of vaccine for the group, she said each senior individual would be given an explanation by a health expert at the vaccination centre or PPV. She explained that her ministry, through relevant agencies, is also identifying the best method to detect the elderly who are homeless to be given the vaccine. Outreach programs to encourage people to register for COVID-19 vaccination will be implemented in all 10 districts in Kelantan. Now, State Health Director Datuk Dr. Zaini Hussein said the program would be carried out with the help of the state government. According to Datuk Dr. Zaini, those involved in these programs have entered rural areas and remote villages. However, the health department has no plans to conduct house-to-house checks yet.
Jadi ialah ada golongan-golongan yang yang kita sasarkan untuk kita pergi ke kampung-kampung. Ini bergantung pada bekalan. Jadi bila bekalan banyak, kita akan pergilah kepada semua dan kita harap ini akan dapat dilaksanakan secepat mungkin.
Speaking to reporters after visiting the 13th COVID-19 Quarantine and Low Risk Treatment Centre, PKRC, in Tanjung Chad, Kota Baru today, he said the State Health Department has no plans to open any new PKRC at the moment, as the number of new COVID-19 cases recorded were below 600 daily. However, Datuk Dr. Zaini said they have already identified locations for the new PKRC to be set up, but at the moment, they will optimize the usage of the existing 13 PKRCs, and currently there are 1,800 patients at these centres. Malaysia's COVID-19 cases dropped to 6,241 today, with Selangor still topping the list at 2,178 cases. Now, this is the first time cases have been in the 6,000s since the 30th of May. In a tweet, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said Sarawak is the second with 600 cases, followed by Johor, 565 cases, Negeri Sembilan, 556 cases, and Kuala Lumpur, 415 cases. Perlis registered the lowest with 2 cases. The Health DG also announced 87 new deaths from COVID-19 today, bringing the total number of fatalities to 3,378. There are currently 86,628 active cases with 890 patients in the intensive care unit. Of those cases, 444 are in need of ventilators. Number of COVID-19 patients who have recovered and been discharged from hospitals as of noon today was 5,133. Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, should do its utmost to facilitate affordable and equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines, while stressing the importance for APEC to guard against vaccine nationalism and stockpiling of vaccines. International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali also reiterated the strong call by APEC leaders last year to treat COVID-19 vaccines as global public goods. The minister in the statement today also emphasized the need and urgency for APEC to optimize all policy tools and act collectively in ensuring trade continues to flow unimpeded during these trying times. While recognizing the importance of innovation and digitalization, Datuk Seri Azmin urged officials to expedite the adoption of digitalization, taking into account the pressing challenges faced by APEC during the pandemic. In this regard, he strongly encourages APEC economies to share relevant data and information relating to COVID-19 through the APEC COVID-19 Latest and Immediate Virtual Exchange, a digital information sharing platform launched last year. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz described that fighting the COVID-19 war is more of a marathon than a sprint. Therefore, providing a blanket moratorium is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Now, he also questioned the need to deploy more resources than necessary when the journey ahead could potentially be both long and challenging. The minister said it is neither fair nor responsible for the government to take all these risks just for the sake of enabling a blanket moratorium for everyone, particularly when at least 80% of borrowers do not need it, and banks are already offering targeted assistance to borrowers that really require this relief.
Setelah moratorium berakhir pada bulan September tahun lepas, mereka yang masih tidak mampu membayar balik pinjaman diberi peluang untuk melanjutkan tempoh moratorium. Lepas tu, kira-kira 85% peminjam dibayar semula pinjaman mereka. Ini maknanya kebanyakan rakyat Malaysia masih mampu membayar pinjaman mereka.
Since then, he said the banking sector has strategically focused on the 15% of borrowers who are struggling by offering options of between a 3-month moratorium or a 6-month 50% reduction in repayments in Budget 2021, which were extended through subsequent aid packages like Permai, Perkasa and Perkasa Plus. Next edition of News at 10. In our top story, SPM 2021 exams to start in February next year. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.